But still, just to reiterate, we are a accountable healthcare company, and we are here to take care of you, and we are here to take responsibility of your health. And when I say health, we take care of all the aspects of your health. We are focusing on reducing the illnesses that are already there, with helping you in managing your day-to-day health requirements also. We have a large network of our healthcare partners, and we have our panel doctors, and along with our aligned lab networks and our practitioners who we can help you in an incidental case also. We are here to help you in becoming better with the journey along with Circle Health. So, with this small introduction, I would not take much of time and would love to introduce to our today's speaker. Um, Afroz is one of the senior most nutritionists that we have in Circle Health. She has done her master's in clinical nutrition and dietetics, and she is a licensed dietitian. Most of you must have spoken with her at some or the other time, and you would also vouch like how I can vouch that she really means about the holistic health approach. And she will help you in improving your day meals, but not with what she wants, but what you can inculcate and what you can practice. So yeah, she's smiling with my introduction, Afroz. So welcome, Afroz. We are very excited to listen to you teach a little bit more about how we can take better care of ourselves, and not just women, but everyone who is present here.
Yes. Thank you very much for this introduction, Ranjan. So let me just start with the presentation. But I'm glad to see there are men also who have joined this.
Yes.
So I'm really glad to have them here. So let me just begin with this. I would definitely ask a couple of questions to my male counterparts here. What do you think when the word women comes in your mind? Can you just type it, or if you can on your camera and say? Sharad, Chaitanya, anyone? No
They
answer.
are refraining from answering.
The first thing which comes in your mind when you think of a woman. Sharad, at least you. Oh God, Chaitanya is speaking.
Yeah, I think it's better if we chat
Wow,
rather than this.
I can see so many answers coming up. Family, hey, Harsh. Okay, Sharad, no worries. Okay, Manisha, anything in your mind? Women.
Strength, I would say.
Very nice. So there are many things when we talk about a woman. Like we talk about like multitasking. She is wonderful, strong. She's the the leader at home, the operations manager at home, everything. But everybody, what we forget when we say about W for women, but W for wonderful, W for many things which comes out. But there is something called as wellness and well-being also, which women they themselves they don't think about it, because they're always there in front to take care of the family. They're there juggling between the career as well as the families and everything, ensuring they are giving their 100% at all both the ends. So what happens during when they're trying to give 100% at both the ends? You ask them whether you are taking care of your food, are you doing your exercises and everything. They just say like, that is something which takes a seat back. So today on this Women's Day, all the beautiful ladies, we are here to ensure sensitize you that your health is also equally important. If you're healthy, the entire family can be healthy. You will be more productive at work, you'll be more productive at your home, and I think you will also take care of yourself, that you can keep any diseases away from yourself, right? So let me just begin with this. So when it comes to health, what do you think, which stage of a woman's life the nutrition matters the most, or the care matters the most? Is it her childhood, is it her adulthood, or is it like her age during that? Since all of you are on mute, so probably I'll open this question answers. Adulthood, yes, okay. So but Runjan, I agree with you, but there every stage of life there is a different need of your care which is required. So that is like from the time you're born as a single cell in your mother's womb till 50, 60 kgs you are, it is nothing but your nutrition, the way you have nourished yourself, it is going to get transformed into. Most of us, I guess, agree with me, like, we want a good skin, we take care of our vitamin intakes, or we go for my vitamin supplements. For good bone, health, we ensure we take a lot of calcium. For good, blood thing, we take iron and everything. So it is nothing but the food what you have eaten has turned out to be you. So every stage of your life, you need nutrition. From the childhood till the adulthood, yes, you are going to grow in terms of your height, weight, and everything. But at adulthood, you will get stagnated. You're not going to grow in the height, but you're going to grow in the width if you don't take care of your nutrition properly. So this is where we need to understand that there is a wear and tear of the tissue happens. There is a nutrition which is completely different from the time, for the growth compared to the maintenance nutrition. So both are different. So you have to ensure that it has been taken care. And during your aging process, how you have to decline and ensure you are taking a good nutrition so that you can maintain your bone health, your strength, everything is maintained properly. Right. So I hope you agree with me that every stage of life you need a proper nutrition support. So what is health? Basically, what is health? So health is just a mere absence of a disease that you are healthy. Do you call me healthy? Like I just say I don't have any disease, but does it mean that you're healthy? Healthy means something where you're not only away or you're away from the diseases, but you're also happy, you're also sleeping good, you're also exercising. So there is physical wellness as well as there is a mental wellness. Both are being added to the definition of the health now by the WHO. Earlier it was only that you don't have any disease, you're considered to be healthy. But now I think your mental health, wellness, everything matters a lot. That is how the definition has been joined and called it as your health is both physical and mental health. So we will look at mostly today on the diet and lifestyle, and we'll discuss about it and see like how we can improvise on that part. So food, I have given you a introduction, like, what exactly is food? So what do you mean by exactly a word called food? Food is something, what? Edible, drinkable, right? Or which gives you energy, right? So this is how the food is, something which you can eat and drink and everything. But if you look at the functions of the food, it has changed according to the era. It has become a social need also. There is a psychological need, there is a physiological need. Physiological need, we all agree. There is something called as voluntary function, there is something called as involuntary functions. So voluntary function is like you want to walk, talk, run, you need energy, and that comes from your food. Even in involuntary functions, like when you're sleeping, you're just breathing, your heart is beating, you still need energy, and that also comes from the food. So that is the major function of your food, that it supports with your energy levels. The second is the psychological need. All of you will agree with me, the child once comes on this earth, the child first becomes comfortable and feels secure with the mother because she feeds, right? And from there the food security starts. So that is how it is important that psychologically we feel very, very comfortable when there is a food. So when we talk about our jobs and everything, we feel like we are breadwinners. My job is my bread and butter. All these things, because there's a lot of security which is involved with the food. The third aspect of the food is that the social. Nowadays, it's like we go to a wedding, we hardly see the bride and groom, and we discuss the menus and everything. Or you go, you meet a friend, there should be something which you should eat along with your friend. If you're going out, you're in a mall, you just don't come back just like that. There is always small aspect of food involved. So there's a lot of social aspect. We are involved with the menus. There is any function at office, there is food. There is any celebration, there is food. All those things are there. So food has a major role in our life, but sometimes what we do is we take it for granted. We generally don't understand what we are eating. We don't understand, is it a sightful eating or a mindful eating? Am I just eating because I'm seeing the food, or is it my necessity? I'm really hungry that I need to eat that portion. So we will try and understand that today. So understanding the plate concept, what all you need to have in your plate. Generally what happens when we eat food, a round plate, there's some rice and one curry added to it. We South Indians, we eat. The North Indians might eat like 2-3 rotis, one bhaji or sabzi to go along with that. and we think we have had a good ghar ka khana, homemade food and everything. But as a nutritionist, if you ask me whether this meal is balanced, I would say no. There should be a proper, all the elements has to be part of it, where you are ensuring that you're getting carbs, you're getting proteins, you're getting your vegetables, there is some fluids, there is vegetables, everything involved, everything should be there, right? So what we say is, if you look at your meal plate, a round plate, half of your plate, if I do it into fours, like half and half, so 1/4 of your plate should be your carbs. So your carbs comes from where? From your rice, rotis, it can be anything, like, you're eating a quinoa, you're eating oats, all your cereals category. It can be bread, it can be jawar, it can be ragi rotis and everything. So all those comes into your 1/4 of your plate. 1/4 of your plate should be some proteins which should be there. So what is your proteins? It can be veg proteins, like it can be a big katori of dal, it can be chana, chola, rajma, soya you can have, or you can have two small pieces of chicken, maybe two egg whites and one yolk. So those kind of things, a piece of fish around 150 grams, you can add it. So that is how your protein portion comes into your plate. The rest of your half meal plate has to come from your vegetables. Trust me, 1/4 can be a cooked portion, which can be a sabzi, like bhindi, beans, lauki, turai, or whatever your vegetables you eat, mostly grown above the grounds. I would encourage mostly. Your salad should be another 1/4 of your plate, which can be a carrot, radish, it can be a beetroot, it can be sprouts, anything which you can add. So there is a cooked element, there is a raw vegetables, everything is involved. So that is when your meal actually gets completed. Probably if you're eating a little curd, you can have a little curd also with your meal. That is how a complete meal forms. Trust me, if you are eating like this, we will not have deficiencies. Many of us think, I eat vegetables, I eat fruits, but still I land up with vitamin deficiencies, all those things. This happens because we are not eating the right portion, right? So let me just take you a little more in detail and try to explain you about the basic food groups. So what we have done is, we have divided food into 3 groups. So one is the energy giving foods. So the energy giving food comes from 2 categories. One is your oils, the other one is from your carbs, carbohydrates, which we discussed. So oils and fats. Oils, fats, so it can be your ghee, it can be any type of oil which you take, all those things comes into the category. So can you take them in good amount of portion sizes? No. It has to be very, very limited. We basically take it into a pyramid kind of a thing, and it should be the tip of your pyramid, that much only your fat should come. Roughly around 4 to 5 teaspoons. So teaspoon is just 5 ml wala teaspoon, not that 7 or 8 ml or 10 ml of teaspoons. So if you ask me, around 20 to 25 ml of oil is what we allow basically. So it is like 2 small chota dhakkans and all, which you have to use it. That is what is your oil requirement or a fat requirement for a day. Because there is a lot of hidden and natural fats which is already present in your cereals, present in your pulses, present in your vegetables and everything. So there is visible fat and there is invisible fat. Visible fat is something which you are adding. Invisible fat which is already inbuilt in the vegetables. So it's not like always it is only proteins and carbs and vitamins you are getting. You're also getting some hidden invisible fats in your vegetables also. So when you add oils, it has to be limited. This is one thing you have to make sure that when you cook your food, you don't see a layer of oil floating on your gravies. Your food is not always fried too much. If the oil is coming out of the food, it means it has absorbed a lot of oil and it is coming up. So that is one thing you have to ensure that you're going low on it. Trust me, the amount of oil I'm telling you, around 4 to 5 teaspoons in a day, you will not see oil in your food when you add. So your rotis are going to be very dry. Your bhajis and sabzi and everything will look very dry. You'll not feel that creamy, greasy thing when you eat. So that amount of oil, you have to add it in your food. The second very, very important food which you have to ensure that you are adding, when I told about your meal plate, the 1/4 was your proteins. That is what we called as bodybuilding foods. These are very, very essential foods. Sorry. So what you have to do is, there are 2 types of foods which you can add, ensure that you're getting proteins. One is vegetarian sources. Vegetarian sources can be like all types of dals, chana dal, tur dal, masoor dal, moong dal, all types of dals, and the whole dals, like which are like whole seeds, chana, rajma, chola, all soya chunks, all this comes under the protein categories. So you are supposed to have minimum 3 to 4 servings in a day, actually, if you look at it. One serving is roughly around, the raw weight, we take it around 30 grams, but if it is a cooked dal, you have to take it around 100 ml, a small katori, medium sized katori, which you can take it. So that much of protein you are supposed to add it. If you are a non-vegetarian, you can add 2 pieces of chicken, one medium sized piece of a fish, or maybe 2 eggs. You can easily add it in your diet. Apart from that, protein also comes from milk and curd, which you can add it. But ensure your milk is skimmed milk, so that you're actually reducing the saturated fat content from your milk. So small katori of milk, curd can come. A good 200 ml of milk can be added easily if you're a non-vegetarian. If you're a vegetarian, ensure you're adding around 350 to 400 ml of milk, which can go as buttermilk, curd, it can go as paneer. All those things will come under that category. So you have to ensure that you're adding that category also. The protective group, what do you mean by protective group? So something which actually provides you the immunity and ensures whatever you have eaten is digested well. It comes from two micro foods, what we call it as. Those are vitamins and minerals. So vitamins are again two types. So you need to understand what you need on a daily basis, what you don't need on a daily basis. If you ask me about vitamins, you need on daily basis, whether it is water soluble vitamin or a fat soluble vitamins. So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, they all are essential vitamins. They get absorbed when you eat little oil. So your food should have a small amount of oil. Never go completely oil-free diets. That is also not recommended on a long run. Unless it is a therapeutic reason where your doctor has told you to go completely a fat-free diet. Till that, you should never try to go very, very low with your oils. So try to add a lot of green leafy vegetables, everything where you're getting this vitamin A. I hope you know vitamin A deficiency causes the night blindness. It impacts your vision. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to your, weak bones. Rickets can happen. There's a lot of things which is associated with vitamin D, is that your metabolism can drop. It can impact your insulin levels and everything now. Vitamin E is very, very essential for your skin health, for your hair health, as well as for your sexual reproduction system also. And vitamin K is very essential to maintain your blood thinning thing and everything. Because if you don't have good vitamin K, once you start bleeding, it will not stop. It's like that. So you have to ensure there is a good vitamin K also added in your diet, which you need not worry as long as you're including the way I'm going to tell you the vegetables and everything, right? And the minerals like, calcium, potassium, phosphorus, iodine, zinc, all this going to come if you include vegetables. So now when I say vegetables, how much vegetables do we need to eat, right? So how much vegetable, this is a tricky question. Many people think that a small portion of small vegetables aside in your plate is enough. No. What happens is, when you cook vegetables, most of the vitamins are lost. The amount of heat is generated when you're cooking the food. So that is the reason why I said there should be always a small portion of a salad which should be there, so that you're getting the nutrients as it is to the body also. So you have to ensure, we basically recommend you 5 servings, and one serving is like equally around 100 grams. Sorry. So it means you're supposed to have 5 servings a day. So when I say 5 servings, it is like half a kg of vegetables per person per day we are supposed to have. So it's quite a good amount of vegetable I'm talking about. But if you really carefully plan, there is breakfast, there is lunch, there is dinner, there is snacking in between. If you're adding a salad, there is a good bhaji, there is everything added, you will end up eating that much, or at least 400 grams. So we are supposed to have it in that way. But what happens many a times, it happens is like, 1/4 kg, pav kg, we cook it for the family of 4 or 5, and we manage within that. So that is not enough. So you have to ensure that the vegetables are purchased freshly and as much as possible a good quantity, so that everybody are getting a good 100 to 150 grams of serving every meal when you're eating, right? So this is about the vegetables which you should have. So before this, I would like to tell you about fruits, how much fruits you're supposed to have. So fruits, again, minimum 2 servings. That is what we recommend. So your fruits are like, it can be anything. It can be like any apple size. We take it around 100 to 150 grams. So you can have 1 apple morning, 1 apple evening. You can have either 1 orange, 1 pomegranate, maybe a small cup around 100 to 150 grams of papaya you can eat. So try to include a variety of fruits in your diet if possible, so that you're getting every possible nutrient, so that you can, your body can actually get those phytochemicals to free out or to wash out all the free radicals, to detox your body and everything. You have to ensure that you're adding a fruit, and ensure, I would say, between juices and fruits, my take would be always a fruit. Eat a fruit, not drink a fruit juice, right? Coming back to the nutrients, I think we have already discussed, so I'll just go through. Food has basically two types of nutrients. One is the macronutrients, which is needed in more quantity. Micronutrients are your vitamins and minerals, which are needed in small quantities. So you have to ensure that you take all those things in proper. I would definitely like to connect with every one of you one-on-one, so that I can explain you according to your metabolism, according to your age, your height, your weight, your work conditions, how much calories you're supposed to have, how much from this each category of carbs, proteins you need to include in your diet, so that you're getting a balanced diet out of this, right? Okay, so the myth is that rice is very fattening. Rice can lead to weight gain. Weight loss doesn't happen when you eat rice, and it can lead to diabetes, all these things. But the fact is that the calorie content of rice and wheat is actually equal. The difference is only the digestion time. So it depends, like, suppose you have eaten a rice, it might take easily within 30 to 45 minutes, you will start seeing a sugar spike. But whereas if you take chapatis, it might show a spike only after, say, 75 minutes onwards, or say 1.5 hours onwards. It depends on how the fiber content in it. But the calorie content of both are same. So if a person who wants to eat rice, and that is where culturally they eat rice, we encourage them to eat rice as much as possible, but within the limited portion sizes what we recommend. So rice should never be a mountain of rice. It should be a small portion. When you put it in your plate, always your hand should go and sit very easily on that. That much of portion is something which we recommend when it comes to rice, but it should have all the accompaniments what I've told. A portion of dal, salads, sabzi, everything. Then it becomes a complete meal. So then you will not see sugars are going very, very high, or you're not showing weight loss. So weight loss can be shown with this, just that you have to ensure you're controlling the portion sizes and everything. Many of us feel weak. We feel tired, we get body pain, aches and everything, cramps, we feel low energy. It could be because of stress, but it can also be because of you might be lacking proteins in your diet. People who lack protein, there's a lot of studies done which says that Indian diets are predominantly rich in carbs. We are carb eaters. Our plates are like half filled with carbs. Your protein, veggies are only a small portions of it. It's like 10%, 20%, that's it, not more than that. Yeah, so that's what you get within your diet. So you have to ensure that it is actually the other way, where you're getting 1/4 of your plate as protein. So you have to ensure, when you see that there is a lot of muscle cramp happening, it could be water you have to increase, and as well as you have to add proteins in your diet. Till now we just understood that what is the various nutrients which are there in the diet, what you're supposed to include in your diet. So now we will be just seeing what happens if your lifestyle is haywire, you're not following a diet and everything. So what are the diseases which are called as the lifestyle diseases, which can impact a woman very, very easily. So the first and foremost comes the obesity. Obesity is very, very easy nowadays, like to put on weight. It's just that your calorie intake, you take more calories than you burn out the calories. So what happens, those excess calories keep getting converted to fat, right? So those fat forms a layer, cream layer on the body, and you look little chubbier and everything, but it starts growing. It can be a problematic thing. So this is what we need to look at it, like when we say when you're obese, it doesn't show any signs and symptoms, but over a long time it can start affecting you head to toe. So what happens is, once your fat percentage increases, your nerves will start narrowing down. So they'll be like pressurizing it, so the blood flow can get impacted, so which can lead to blood pressure at an early age. Diabetes can start because once the fat percentage is high, you will start showing insulin resistance. So your insulin starts going a little, it is there, but it's not functioning effectively. So you start showing a small amount of sugars, but you will not get qualified to be called as diabetic so early. But this could be a sign that when you have obesity. So you have to be very, very careful. Your weight can put a lot of pressure on your knees and your joints and everything, which can give inflammation and can lead to arthritis. There could be a stone formation in your gallbladder, that is called polylithiasis. Heart diseases, cerebrovascular accidents, all these things can happen when there's a lot of fat, into your circulation, and it can go and plug any of the artery. Sleep apnea is something where you get impacted when you're sleeping and you find it difficult to sleep. You feel little choked, you find it very difficult to go into a deep sleep and everything, and it happens when you have a good fat around your belly region. So what happens when you breathe, you will have very less area where your lungs can expand. So this is one thing you should always remember about the central obesity part. If you start widening your waistline, it is an indication that a lot of lifestyle diseases can impact you. So it can include one of that is your sleep, and once the sleep is impacted, trust me, from there all the diseases will start if you are not taking a good rest. And cancer, when there is a lot of fats, any cell can start proliferating, any cells can start multiplying rapidly, and that is can lead to cancer. So it can be any cancer in women. We see mostly with obesity, we see a lot of breast cancer happening. Cervical cancer is a followed one after that. We have heard a lot about heart diseases in men, but trust me, the research data shows that the number one killer in women is heart diseases only. But it is actually underreported and underdiagnosed also. So what happens when women gets the symptoms and everything, it doesn't get easily diagnosed and everything. So the death rate in women is actually higher when it comes to when they get an attack compared to a man. So a man can survive a couple of 2 to 3 attacks, but there are women who show with less attacks, the mortality rate is very high. So we have to be very, very careful with this. Many a times what happens, we think girls who are very thin tend to have a very good, physique and everything, but they may have a good high cholesterol in their body and everything. So they should go for a periodic health checks and check all those things. So that can help them. Metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, you might have heard about it. It is basically a couple of things. If it is there, 2 to 3 symptoms can lead to metabolic syndrome, and it is like a ticking bomb on you. So it is always good to get it diagnosed and get it, work on your diet and lifestyle. So if there is obesity, if there is hypertension and pre-diabetes, it means you are pre-exposed to metabolic syndrome. If only any obesity is there, if there is only LDL levels are high, kidney stones are there, or maybe mild sugar levels are also going high, you are exposed, you are a good candidate for metabolic syndrome. So this has to be properly diagnosed from the doctor and should start working with the diet and lifestyle changes. Trust me, this can be actually reversible thing with a good diet and lifestyle. So what happens is pre-diabetes. Pre-diabetes is kind of a threshold where most all of us are standing right now. The kind of lifestyle where we sit and work for very long, where we have more body fat percentage, our sleeps are not quality sleeps, very short sleeps, not a good high quality sleep, and we are having stress levels. This all can impact your sugar levels, and you start showing a mild higher HbA1c value, which will not get qualified you to take medicines also sometimes. But this is an indication that at which level you're going to go in future, that this can get converted to diabetes and everything. So this is the good time when you find that there is any pre-diabetes, you should work on it and try to reverse it and at least bring it back to a level where you can maintain it. So this all can be diagnosed if you are going for a periodic health checks. So my request would be on this Women's Day, ensure that you all are going for a health check and you're checking all your numbers. So PCOS is a common thing now. Every third girl in India, the research shows that, can have PCOD at any stage of their life. So PCOD is most of the time, to an extent, is reversible, but when it becomes PCOS, it is a long time thing. So here you see people putting on weight, or you see people who are having a high fat percentage. They will have irregular menstrual cycles. The cycle length may be smaller or larger. Their bleeding days would be little lesser. All those things, you will see the infertility rate will be higher. You'll see a chin hair growth, or side hair, facial hair growth. Everything you will notice. They'll feel very tired. They feel like out of energy most of the time. Acne is very common in this girl. So it can be as early as 13, 14 years old girl can also have PCOS. So all these things are related to our lifestyle. So we need to understand all those things. Anemia is one of the thing. When we talk about a woman, anemia is always there. Most of the women, like, they always tend to have a lower HB levels. When your hemoglobin is less, you always feel tired, you lack appetite, you don't feel like eating. For a small walk or you climb stairs, you feel breathless, tiredness, you're feeling dizziness. All these things are few things which a woman will go through in their lifestyle at one point. So this all can be corrected. This all can be corrected, this all can be reversed if you are taking care of your diet properly, you are meeting a proper nutritionist or a health coach, where all these things are being screened and diagnosed and being treated on time. So my prevention mantras for today, on a smaller brief note which I can tell you, is that always keep few things in your mind. Like when you sit and eat, think about your food. Are you really hungry or not? If you're hungry, what are you eating? Just that, to calm down yourself, you're eating some french fries or you're eating a proper vegetables, everything. So you have to look at it, what you're including into your meal plan, meal plate and everything. So remember one thing, whatever in your plate is gonna do two things to your body. Either it's gonna heal your body or it's gonna harm your body. So it's completely up to us what we are including into our plates. So if you want to heal your body, ensure there is a good healthy carbs included, which is more fiber rich. I would definitely say go for jawar, ragi, bajra, whole wheat products. Include small amount of rice. Try even red rice, brown rice if you want to try. Reduce it as much as possible if you can reduce maida products, pasta, noodles. One of the favorite ingredients of most of our home is the rava, suji, which we use. And it is very commonly made across our homes, like, upma, which we all eat. But what happens with this upma is that this also comes into a refined cereal category. This is all the middle portion of the wheat. So try to include a little thicker version of suji, which is a little brown in color, or dalia if you can, so that there's a fiber retained in that. So try if you can include this kind of food. Cook that food with less oil. Ensure your salt is not too much. The moment you keep your food that you can feel the salt, it means you're eating too much of salt. Ideally, you should try and include not more than 1 teaspoon of salt, which is roughly 5 grams in a whole day, not more than that. Ensure you are drinking at least 8 to 10 glasses of water if you can, and try to drink more water during sunrise and sunset, and try to reduce it after sunset slowly, so that you can have a peaceful sleep and you need not visit washroom frequently in the during the sleep time. So that can be taken care. Ensure you're trying to cut down on sugar intake. You're not taking too much of sugars. You're reducing on those desserts and sweets as weekly ones in a smaller portions if you can do. So you are enjoying all the good food also, but the portion and the frequency is restricted. That is what we have to do. The very good thing what we all can do is, even if you are eating here and there, a small food changes happens, ensure you are exercising. This is something which we feel it's sometimes a waste, but you have to ensure you have to go for more than 30 minutes of a walk if possible, minimum 4 to 5 days in a week if possible. So we recommend 150 minutes at least in a week if you can do. If not, at least try to do yoga if you can, or a dance workout, something. But try to include, instead of a perfect exercise plan, if you can begin with, we have our fitness coaches, we have a physiotherapist who will definitely help you with the proper planning in future. Then definitely I would recommend stop smoking, minimize your alcohol drinks as much as possible, no binge drinking, restrict yourself to one to between the 3 drinks. According to me, my one drink is 30 ml, so I would definitely say stop at 90, not more than that. Sleep well, sleep like a baby. Ensure that you're not keeping a mobile beside you, you're switching off the lights, you're not watching anything before on your bed, especially, and keep everything. Do some meditation. Our mental wellness coaches will help you with a good meditation technique, how to sleep good, all those things. So try to sleep good, concentrate on that, work on this. And the last one is know your numbers. The numbers are nothing, not your mobile numbers or your bank account numbers, it's your health numbers. Try to know what's your cholesterol value, what's your triglyceride value, what's your hemoglobin value, where do you stand in terms of certain values like your blood sugar values. If you know, you can actually work towards it. Many of us think if we do that test, something will come out and it will hamper my quality of life. But I think the kind of era we are living, it is better to know, prevent it, than curing it or going to a hospitals, and treating it. So always work on your wellness. I'm sure you can lead a very healthy and a very, very strong life the way you're continuing. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Over to you, Manisha.
Thank you so much, Afroz. This was definitely very insightful. So we do have a few questions, some follow-up questions that people had asked while during the registration. So I'll start putting them here on the chat.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, folks, if any one of you have any questions, please put ask it out on the chat, and Afroz will take it up. There you go, Afroz. You have your first question on the
Yes.
chat.
So, Manisha, so I have tried answering this question, I think, during my presentation. Tiredness is very, very common nowadays among women, among men, every one of us. So this tiredness could be for because of two reasons. One, you're sitting for very prolonged hours at one place and you feel, a little stiffness in the body, mental pressure, all those things can be there. But yes, you cannot rule out the nutrition deficiencies also. So you have to ensure two nutrients in your diet which you have to take care. One is your hydration. If your hydration is good, your blood circulation, everything will be good. Try to take shorter breaks, get up from your place and walk, take some shorter breaks, so that will help you to come back and start working back. The important nutrient which you have to work when it is tiredness is your proteins. Proteins are something which is going to ensure that your productivity is good at your work. It gives you immunity, it gives you the stamina and strength, endurance, all those things. So you have to ensure you're adding, the way I said, at least 2 katori of dal, 1 katori of curd, 1 glass of milk minimum in your diet as a vegetarian. As a non-vegetarian, you can continue adding 2 pieces of non-veg chicken. I would encourage mostly a white meat, which you can add it. So chicken, fish, eggs.
We have
Yes,
one more
yes.
question. So, what are the things to be included in the health check which are specific to women? How frequently should a woman, visit a gynec? And will visiting a physician enough?
So one thing is that at least what we encourage is women who don't have any medical history, at least an annual checkup, the annual blood checkup would help. But if you find anything like your TSH is showing a mild elevation or something, or if you see any other things like you have any chin hair growth or you see any symptoms, so your test has to be recommended by your doctor, whether you have to go for biannually or something if you have to do, or every 3 months you have to, track your thyroid, track your sugars and everything. So all those things will be recommended by our doctors. So it completely depends. So what I would recommend is to have one preliminary consultation with the doctor to understand your health history and everything. The doctor can understand. Based on that, they'll recommend you. So, there is no blanket statement. I would say, like, every woman has to go twice a year or something, but once a year, definitely for sure. But it's completely from doctor to doctor, because everything, all the care has to be personalized. So care has to be personalized. So it has to be tailor-made plan and everything. So based on their lifestyle, medical history, the doctor is going to recommend, like, what all things to be tracked after that, once your annual health check is done. The second thing you asked me was between a general physician and a gynaec. I think initially you can meet a general physician. In case if you have anything specific where you have to go, I would definitely encourage at least yearly once one general gynec visit also, to check the gynecological health and everything, where you can discuss about your menstrual cycles, whatever you have where you want to discuss with the doctor and everything. A small general checkup, everything where the doctor can do, all those things can be taken care.
So,
Yeah.
one more question for you. How to
Yeah.
deal with unintentional weight loss?
Unintentional weight loss. Okay, so it completely could be a medical reason or could not be a medical reason. Medical reason could be that the thyroid could be hyperactive, where you start burning out more calories and everything, or there could be some underlying disease which has to be completely diagnosed. All those things has to be done. But as a nutritionist, what I can do is, when there is an unintentional weight loss happening, I can screen their diet and understand, like, what is their calorie intake, protein intake, are the stress levels high, are they making they're having good sleep or not. So we will try to correct from our end this part, and then the medical part we will definitely hand it over to our doctors to look into that detail. Yes. So
Okay.
Runjun has asked one question: weight stagnation, how to tackle hitting weight plateau. So weight loss, yes. So when you start doing a weight loss, it is completely a kind of a thing where, Runjun, what happens initially, people show a very good weight loss. So once you start dieting, you will say, in a week I lost 2 kgs or something. I lost, say, the 5 kgs within a month or something, or say at least 2-3 kgs in a first month. Second month I don't show anything, or second month you show, third month you don't show. So it can happen. So what happens is, this could be your water weight which you're losing initially, right? And second thing, what happens when how intensive dieting you're doing also matters, because if you're going very low on your carbs or proteins or total calories, your body will get used to that much calorie only. So when you hit a plateau, we try to give a break there for a diet. We say, eat a little better, build up your metabolism. Let's look at your exercise pattern and everything. There's something that which we can do, like if you're exercising in the morning or evenings, all those we try to swap and see. Diet also we give a break, and then we will again kickstart the diet. So many a times we have seen that this plateau can be broken, but it has to be done it in a very scientific way, right? Okay, so I hope it's done, Ranjan. Yes.
We have one more, we have a lot of questions actually on diet and nutrition. So the next question would be, what would be some easy food habits working women can pick up given the busy schedule and the busy situation we all are?
Yes, I was actually expecting. I know women would have asked me when I told about those 4 partitions where you have to eat salad, dal, and everything. So, the kind of lifestyle where we have, where both the partners are working, becomes difficult to cook when you're traveling and everything. So, I would definitely recommend go for one pot meal if possible, where you are trying to cook something like a khichdi. It's like, your, say, 30 grams of your dalia or oats or say rice or say wheat, anything you're using, use the same portion of dal in that. So it is like a khichdi kind of a thing. Dal and rice goes along with that. You're adding good 100 to 150 grams of veggies, and you're cooking everything together. So one meal you're getting vegetables, proteins, and carbs, everything. And with that, you can have a raita or something to go with that, and it becomes a complete, healthy, nutritious meal if you can do. So try to opt like that. My other recommendation would be, Manisha, that when you are working, when you don't have time, you have to do planning. You have to plan your meals. You cannot say like, I'm hungry and I'm going to the kitchen and thinking what I can cook now. Especially I keep hearing from my clients when I do consultations, like, when working from home, they just go to the kitchen at the lunch hour and they think what to eat. So what happens during that time, it becomes difficult to plan. So you'll try to do something which is very instant. So the chopping time, all those things will go away. So I think if you plan it up in prior, you can do a chopping of vegetables, you can think of what all you can include and everything, so cooking can become easy. So my recommendation would be definitely planning. I would definitely like to catch up with each one of you so that I can help you with that pre-planning kind of a thing, how it has to be done, how to chop, how to plan Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday kind of a menu planning, everything, how to keep it that you're getting a variety in vegetables, how you're getting a variety in your fruits, how you're getting variety that you're not eating monotonously the same food Monday to Sunday kind of a thing. So I think I'm looking for a very interesting discussion with every one of you so that, we can discuss in detail. Yes.
So,
Manisha.
Afroz, we have one more question. Yeah,
Hey.
Shraddha has a question.
Hi, Afroz.
Hi, Shraddha, tell me.
So, Afroz, I have a question here, and this is something that I have noticed, say, probably in the last 10, 15 days, is that I find it very difficult to eat breakfast. I don't feel hungry in the morning, and it's usually not until, say, about 2 or 3 p.m. that I have the first meal of the day. Would you know what's going on or what I can do better?
It completely depends on your habits, the way you have worked on it and everything, like, so what happens when you have an erratic meal pattern, your body is not getting a proper hunger signals what it's supposed to be. So we have something called as hormones, ghrelin and leptin. So when you feel hungry, your ghrelin goes high. When you feel, your satiety is attended, so leptin is released in the body. So these hormonal signals gets impacted when a prolonged irregular meal timings are followed. So my request would be, Shraddha, irrespective of hunger signals, start eating smaller meals at a particular time. So the moment the clock is going to tick, you're going to feel hungry within 3 weeks for sure. So I'm sure it is going to work, because it all depends on how you train your body, so that the same time you feel hungry, your insulin will be released, your gastric juices will be ready to digest the food and everything. But if your pattern is like today 9 a.m, tomorrow 12 p.m, next day 2 p.m, your body will never get a signal that when this person is eating. So you will always have a gas sugar, acid peak gets neutralized, so you will end up eating anything. So it's like that. So my request would be, you might have got into this habit now, so you have to try and break it. Start eating a smaller meal. Don't eat a heavy breakfast, but eat something on time so that it can become a habit. My recommendation would be, Shraddha, within 2 hours of your waking up, you should try and eat something. It is like fueling your vehicle kind of a thing before you start driving it. So if you fuel it well, your mileage will be better. So try to have a breakfast so that you can take care of your metabolism and everything. The weight gain chances also will be less when you start with a breakfast.
I think I'll follow the 2 hour rule. I think to start off with, it becomes very difficult for me to, follow a particular rule right after I wake up. But I think the 2 hour rule is somewhere that I can start small with.
Yes, so at least within 2 hours of waking up, if you can try, that would help. Yes. Thank you, Shraddha.
Thank you.
Pushpalata asks, does detox diet helps in weight loss?
So detox, according to me, is a myth, because anyways your liver detoxes your body every day. So detox, when we talk about, what we say is that you should try to give up all the food what you eat and everything. So there is a break. There is almost a fasting stage. So a proper detox, Pushpalata, this is how it is done, where we try to take you on a very low calorie diet. You will give up eating a lot of sugars and salts and everything. It is minimized, and after that you will be actually on a water fast also, so that your tongue will become completely bland. That is the state of a detox, where we take it, and then slowly it has been added, so that by the time your liver might have been shrunken also. So a detox actually involves fasting, basically. So it's
Okay,
more
but
or
does
less
it help
salt.
in improving their diet thing? Like,
Sorry.
because I have heard some people, they'll be struggling to follow strict diet or any balanced diet. Okay, does it really helps them at least a week, once in a week, if they go through any detox, or maybe they're fasting whole day, just having some fruits, or will it helps to them to manage their diet? So that's my question actually.
Absolutely, it does help. A fasting stage of at least 18 to 14 hours, 8 to 14 hours would definitely help, at least weekly once, not more than that.
Okay.
But you have to keep hydrated your body and all those things. But extreme dietings of going on liquid diets for a week, extreme diets of like completely going carb free in your diets, or going on ketos and all, I would definitely hold on as of now. It has to be done under proper supervision. It has to be there should be a nod when you're doing this kind of keto diets and everything. So, it is
Yes,
always
exactly.
medical supervision. Yes.
So someone here asks, what is your opinion on various nutrition supplements available out there in the market?
So nutrition supplements, what I would say is, see, the first supplement which we all know is a glucose powder. So the moment you mix it and have it, what happens is your body gets the energy like this. Within 5 minutes, you have that energy boost, because your sugars have reached every cell of your body. The same way, when you look at the supplements of proteins and everything, our body is actually not prepared to digest so much of protein at one go. And protein itself it leads to a toxicity, because there's a lot of byproducts and everything. So you get a protein supplement where in one scoop it can give you 2 grams to 25 grams nowadays. So it is a very high amount of protein. So you have to be very, very careful before including any over the counter protein supplements or any other nutritional supplements. Kindly interact with the nutritionist and have a note from the doctor as well. Don't go by it because of seeing some advertisements and everything, that it's going to improve your muscle mass and everything, because they will lead to a lot of medical issues later, which can lead to high uric acid. There could be a kidney stones. They may impact even the kidney function, all those things. And multivitamins, many people think a pill is a pillar of the day, so they just pop a pill and they think, I got all my energy booster pills and everything where I'm getting. So remember one thing, nothing can replace anything which is in natural form. In natural form, even if you eat little less also, but that is better absorbed in the body than the pool of nutrients which are given in the body, because most of them will be washed out through the urine. So it is always good to have it through natural sources, where the body is able to absorb it better than taking a synthetic sources. So my request would be, work on the diet than going with pills and powders.
So one more question here. So I have some phases of feeling low, very low for no reason. What can I do?
Phases of feeling low can be because of it depends whether you have eaten food properly or not. Because when I'm looking as a nutritionist per se, I would definitely say that, but I would definitely ask Shraddha to pitch in if she can take over this question, because I think it is more on the mental health also, when you feel low and everything, where they can handle. But otherwise, the question posed by Manisha, if you can share the details, I think Shraddha can get in touch and she can speak to them directly. So if you're feeling low and everything for no reason, I guess you should talk to our mental health coach once. My recommendation would be that.
So one more question here. Uh, do you recommend fruit fasting at least once in a week, which will help out in the detox process? Which fruit would be better?
So when I spoke to Pushpalata's question, where I said, detox, where you're trying to fast, when I say fasting, I'm still saying that you can eat one meal at least a day or something where you're doing. But if you ask me, one day fruit diet, one day vegetable diet, one day only protein diets, that is not recommended for a very, very long time. Because, fruits, what you end up eating is, many of us think fruits are good, but they also have a lot of fructose sugar in that. So, and they are very low on protein. So one day, if you're not eating protein, imagine you're actually missing. We recommend 1 gram per kg body weight of protein per day. So it means, suppose you're 50 kg, 50 grams of protein deficit is created in your body when you're not having proteins, when you're going on a fruit diet. So this kind of diets, what will they do is they create a stress in the body, so that you start burning out calories and everything, but there could be a loss of muscle mass when you're doing this kind of diets. So my recommendation would be, like, don't do any rigid dietings like this, where you're just going with 3 meals with fruits, 3 meals only, or having only juices or something like that. Try to include at least one meal where you are getting all the nutrients properly, right? So probably Rock Chaitanya, we can still discuss on that, where I'll try to help you. Like, my recommendation would be fruit fasting once in a while. You want to do it, I would say yes. But if it is something which is gonna be very frequently, not encouraged.
Sure, Afros. Thank you so much.
Last question here, Afroz. So someone says she feels very heavy acidity despite eating very less food. So what can be done in such cases?
So it is completely what happens is, in acidity, is that your stomach is overproducing acid, right? So it could happen to this person either because of high stress levels, and second thing, irregular meal pattern, two, and third, it could be because of fast eating, people who don't chew food for a very long time, for over the years or months or something like that. So what happens, it is like an insult to your stomach, because the food is coming as it is, just bite it couple of times and it is there inside. So your stomach will definitely has to churn the food. So when the churning happens, the stomach lining, gastric lining, gives the information that it needs more acid. So my recommendation would be, start concentrating on 2-3 things when you want to fight this acidity. Acidity doesn't go overnight. It can go with the pills and everything, that you feel low, you feel normal, but to correct the lining of your gastric thing, you have to ensure that when you're eating your food, you're not involved while watching or reading newspapers or doing something, but it's just that you're concentrating on your food. Take small portions of food, don't bite a big things, take small bites, and chew your food in such a way that it is completely mashed in your mouth, then you swallow. None of us does that. So that is one thing which we need to work on. It, we just bite it twice or thrice or 4 times and we just swallow it. So it has to be actually mashed as much as possible. Then it has to be, once it is grinded, then only you have to swallow the meal. That is actually the rule. So you should try as much as possible to chew the food, so that you can fight with this acidity issue. One. Second thing, you have to ensure your meal timings are also maintained. As I told to Ms. Shraddha, that if you're eating on time, your body will secrete that much amount of gastric juices only, right? So that is one thing. Ensure your sleep is good. These are third thing. And fourth thing is, if you feel acidic, ensure you're not adding too much of sour foods in your diet, like anything like oranges, musambi. There's not too much of lemon. Try to avoid, because that can aggravate your acid conditions. Go low on spicy food. Don't take too much of deep fried food. So you need to give at least 15 to 20 days of a gut rest. That's what we say. When you reduce your spices, oil content, eating food on time, chewing well, we'll see a slow improvement happening even without the medications.
Got it, Afroz. So I have a follow-up question actually. So you mentioned that we should grind, like the food should be grinded by the time, yeah, it goes down. So, do you have like any particular number, in the number of times the food should be, like you should chew your food?
Correct. So, in fact, when I was also doing a research on that, I read somewhere that you have to bite your food for 32 times, which every time calculating would be difficult. So, my recommendation is that when you chew your food, it has to be completely mashed. We say almost actually the consistency of cerelac, that much of powdered food you should have in your mouth, then you should swallow. But ensure it is softened, it is mixed with saliva very well, and you have chewed everything and it is almost soft. Once your food gets mixed with saliva and then it goes into the stomach, the digestion is much, much better than the food which is not mixed with saliva and it goes directly. So you tend to have a better digestion when you do this practices, and try not to sleep or lie down immediately after eating your meal because your acid will come up. So you have to maintain that. Don't try to belch. Don't talk too much while eating food, because when you talk too much, you also swallow a lot of air, so that can give you bloating, acidity issues and everything. So when you're eating, sit calmly, concentrate on your food, look at the food and eat, because when you look at the food, your eyes will give signal to your brain that you are going to eat food. When you touch food from your fingers will give signal to your brain that yes, she or he is going to eat food. So when the signal goes to the stomach, the gastric juices, insulin, everything is secreted in a proportionate way. But when the signals are erratic, you're looking something, you're reading something, you're attending a seminar, but you're trying to eat something. So when we try to do too much of multitasking, it impacts our digestion. And trust me, the health starts from the gut health. If you have a healthy gut, you're one of the blessed person. Right?
Got it. In fact, I had read somewhere that I think if your gut is healthy, almost 70% of your diseases are
Absolutely.
like prevented.
There is a saying like, a man doesn't die but kills himself, and it starts from eating food. So what you select, how you eat, where you say no, where you stop, all this matters a lot. Trust me, it is an art. It is scientifically backed by the data and everything, and will definitely help you with this diet plans and everything in detail, where we will have more of a discussion, trying to understand your lifestyle, trying to understand your diet patterns and everything. Right? So hopefully that will help.
I have one more question. So I'm so sorry to ask you so many questions, but I have heard that you should not drink water like right after you have had your food. There should be like, is there any particular time limit that people should maintain?
Yeah. So what happens, as I said, the gastric juices phenomena in the body, which happens when you're eating food. So the recommendation is that if you want 10 minutes before your meal time, you want to drink water, you can drink. But once you start eating food, as I said, the food is getting mixed with saliva. Then it goes into the esophagus. From there, slowly it drops down into the stomach. And it gets mixed with the, there are different gastric juices. We call it as pepsin, trypsin, all those things. So they digest carbs, one digests proteins, one emulsifies the fat. So there are many different things. But the moment you add water to it, these juices are diluted. So what happens, the food is actually not absorbed 100%, and it is passed into the smaller intestines and everything. So it is always recommended at least to wait for 15 to 20 minutes minimum. 30 minutes is a good recommendation. But if you can wait, and if you really feel choked, you can sip water so that the food is passing. The choking could be because of the big bites which you have taken. So try if you can take smaller. Don't talk, so the food can get your saliva itself is enough. Manisha, trust me, we produce roughly around 2 to 2.2 liters of saliva in our body per day. That itself is enough to moist our food and everything, so that it can take it into the gastric inside and everything. So that is enough. But we talk a lot and everything, and we gulp water. So the way I am gulping water a little since I'm talking, so all those things will happen. So the recommendation is that you have to sit calm, eat your food, concentrate on your food, and chew it well. That's enough. It should help you.
So we are done with the questions that we had. Folks, here, if you have any questions, please put it down on the chat box here. We can take it up.
To all the beautiful ladies over there, again, happy Women's Day. You have any queries, kindly reach out to us. We are there to help you with the proper diet plans and everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afroz. A very happy Women's Day to you too.
Thank you very much.
And you inspire all the women here at Circle Health, to be very honest. And a very happy Women's Day to all the beautiful women out here. Thank you so much for joining us today, and take care. Bye bye.